I've been married about 8 years, 3 kids. My wife was raised by a mother who was a firefighter. Dad stayed home. So my wife grew up seeing, her mom have 90% of her coworkers were male and most of her friends were male. Contrast that with my upbringing. My parents ended their marriage, got divorced because of an affair. I have seen friends have affairs, aunts, uncles, you name it. Anyone and everyone. I feel like everyone's having an affair. And so all this is to give context of one of the biggest fights in our marriage has always been, how do you have boundaries with the opposite sex? I have always, my wife, the standpoint she has come from is she has felt controlled, like I'm behaving like a father. And I have always come from the standpoint of, how do you not value our marriage enough to keep it safe? Does that make sense?
100%.
So the context of this is to say, about a year and a half ago, I found out my wife had or was having an emotional affair.
Okay.
And for me at the time, it came out of nowhere. It blindsided me, and it touched a nerve because it was in this area that we've always struggled with, and I've always been very anxious about, is the boundaries, right? And so for her, though, she said she had felt abandoned for about a year and a half prior. It wasn't out of nowhere. I just didn't see it. So been working with the emotional affair for about a year. We were at the point of probably separating this last December. But also kind of getting over it at the same time. I know that probably sounds confusing. But
No, not at all. It's a mess, dude. It's like throwing a grenade in a living room, man. There's just stuff everywhere.
Well, I guess what I should say is, after the year of kind of thinking about the emotional affair, I started seeing where, not that I had deserved and was responsible for the actions she took, but where I had let a gap creep into our marriage.
But hold on, back up. Did she ever, in that 18 months when she felt abandoned, sit down and say, I feel abandoned?
She cried to me for probably a year, John.
Okay. Where were you? Are you there?
I was thinking, John, honestly, it's hard to...
Because the way you painted that was, it came out of nowhere. But she'd been crying for you for a year saying, where's my husband? And you're like, that's good.
It came out of nowhere in the sense of, I guess I had this view of I'm doing what a man's supposed to do. I go to work, I provide, I work hard. I've made a lot of money. I've given up my dreams to make sure my kids can eat, can have a roof over their head. And what she has said over and over, and this is what I say I can hear now, and then I didn't intentionally not hear it at the time. I just thought I was doing what a man's supposed to do.
A man's supposed to listen to his crying wife.
Yeah, that's what she says.
Yeah. A man is supposed to respond to his crying wife. But, and by the way, bro, I've been there too. It's a hard lesson to learn, okay? I've been there several times.
It's a painful lesson to learn, John.
It is. Now describe this emotional affair for me, because that means so many different things to so many different people.
Well, the reason I say it was serendipitous, me getting on your call, was last week I reached out Monday. I had been thinking about reaching out to you for probably a year, John. I mean that. And then Monday, I reach out in the morning to your show. Monday night, my wife sits me down and told me that it had not been an emotional affair, that it had been a physical affair.
There you go. And that's why you haven't had a settled spirit for a year. Because your body knows the air is not clean in that house.
When she told me, I had two instant reactions. I started sitting there and I started just saying no, 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 as if me saying the words was going to make it rewind and not be true anymore.
Mm-hmm.
And the second was, I knew it.
You knew it.
I don't feel crazy anymore.
Yes. And I'm going to challenge what you just told me. That no, no, no was you squashed yourself. That was you talking to you. Because in your guts, you've known.
John, I looked her in the eyes so many times in the last... The physical affair didn't happen until 5 months ago. So the emotional affair...
So it continued after y'all had talked and resettled everything, right?
So it continued, then it stopped, and then it picked back up as we, probably 2 months before the physical happened, and then the lying, and then the hiding it for the next 5 months. And honestly, John, we were talking about separating 2 weeks before she told me, 2 weeks ago, up until 2 weeks ago. And the one thing I looked at her and I told her, we were talking about what boundaries would look like in separating. And I said, all I need to know is if you ever cheat on me, I need to know, because I can't live with that.
And so she let you know. Can you live with it?
John, this has been one of my biggest struggles, because the second I found out, I was hurt more than I have ever been hurt in my entire life, John.
Yeah.
But at the same time, I was more afraid of losing her.
I don't think that's right. And tell me if I'm wrong, okay? I think you're scared of losing, like, the reality of, for whatever, what I'm hearing through your whole narrative here is you have a whole history of people letting you down. And you have a whole history of you believing that you let yourself down. And you swore to yourself you were going to be the one that was different. And you've laid in bed at night next to her while she's sleeping, knowing there's something something in the air isn't right, and you can't wrap your head around only seeing those 3 kids 50% of the time. I don't think this has to do with her. Because I get a lot of grief for this, dude. I get emotional affairs. I get them. I get crushes. I get that. But somebody calls it out, and we sit down and we talk and we have it out, and we have this, hey, you weren't here for me for 18 months. I sobbed for you for a year. And you say, my God, I'm so sorry. I missed it. I thought I was doing right by you. And here we are. And this emotional affair did not become a physical affair. And it was a huge alarm system in our house, and we got it. And we're back. And then she started texting him again. And then she started sleeping with him. Like, the pain on top of that, bro, is like, that's not just an, oh my gosh, and here, how do we find ourselves here? That is a willful, yeah, I don't care. I'm going to spit in my husband's face. He's not going anywhere.
Yeah, she said as much.
Yeah, I'm heartbroken, brother. I'm sorry that happened to you.
Well, I take that back.
No, she has, with her actions. She didn't have to say nothing.
That's true.
And dude, maybe it's just her. Maybe you love her to the moon and back, and you realized I made these big proclamations. If you ever, I'm gonna, and then it happens, and you realize, okay, I'm not. And you're free to, bro. I'm not telling you what to do. You're free to do with what you want. You're free to do whatever you want. You're a grown man. You got 3 kids. You're married. You can do what you want. But your hurt is right. And for some reason, it feels like a double dose of hurt. It feels like a hurt, and then I'm spitting in your face, too. Y'all are actively healing from the emotional affair, right?
Yeah.
And you're trying to be a more engaged husband. You're trying to be plugged in. You're trying to do the right things. You're trying to listen to her more.
I didn't do that very well, John, if I'm being honest.
Okay.
That's what makes it really confusing for me.
There's nothing confusing about it. It's just deciding what y'all want to do next. Because the more you try to rewind what happened, the fact is your wife, she went and slept with somebody else. Is what it is. And so y'all get to decide what are we going to do next. Does she want to stay with you?
She wanted to separate prior to the physical affair because she hadn't felt seen and heard for a long time.
Okay.
She feels similar now.
Okay.
But I would say she feels a glimmer of hope in the sense of feeling like we circled. I don't know how to say this well, John, but we've circled what it was supposed to be so many times. Like it's not like we were trying to make things work and we missed the mark, and it was just like, okay, there's no avenue where we see this fitting. There's so many moments and times and periods where it felt like this is how it's supposed to feel.
Here's the deal. I don't care about your feelings right now or hers. Because both of y'all's feelings are not good proxies for truth or reality. Like the question before you is, are y'all going to do the hard work to learn to trust each other again? Her trust you that when she has emotional challenges that you'll put down your stupid phone and you'll stop working on the next deal or whatever you do at work and you'll be present with your wife. And you're going to have to decide whether she's going to have to decide whether she can stop hanging out with guys all the time and gaslighting you, making you feel stupid about it. Stop sleeping with other men. Stop texting topless pictures to other men. I don't know what she's doing.
She didn't do that.
That you know of.
Yeah.
Right? And so
sound like me.
The question you're going to have to ask is, can I trust her? And if I put a roadmap down that is a roadmap for her to rebuild trust with me, will she commit to that roadmap? That's what's before you. And maybe
so John,
she feels a glimmer of hope because she finally pulled the pin on your old marriage and it's in ash now. And maybe it was exhausting trying to keep that house of cards up, and the house of cards is over. And now maybe y'all want to build something with concrete and wood and bolts that's going to hold. I can see there being some hope there, but y'all going to have to reestablish trust with each other, you emotionally and her physically.
What does that roadmap look like, John?
You get to decide. I can't give that to you. Sometimes it is, I want to see every single text message you send. You cannot go hang out with other dudes without me anymore. I don't want to see you texting another grown man.
And if she doesn't accept it?
Then you get to say, I can't rebuild trust with you. And she gets to look at you and say, when I walk in the door, I want your phone to be down. I want you to see the whites of your eyes. I want you to look at me and say, you're beautiful. I'm glad you're home. And you have to get to say, actually, I think this deal is more important than you. Actually, I think finishing this report for work and getting one more thing done is more important than the kids. You get to decide that.
I guess what I don't understand, John, is how to say that without going back into... How do I say that without her feeling like I'm the dad again?
You can't. She gets to make up whatever bullcrap story she wants. You can't make her not feel a thing. She gets to choose that. Because here's the gross truth. You were right. Your intuition was right. And she made you feel stupid for watching a whole bunch of marriages burn down around you your whole life, and for you creating some boundaries that you knew intuitively. These were like OG grandma wisdom things. Hey, if you hang out with a bunch of dudes, you might sleep with one of them. Or vice versa. Hey, you don't have a bunch of friends that are guys. They all would sleep with you if you would sleep with them. No, yeah, they would. You know that. And you put it down and she made you feel stupid for that boundary. And then here we are. So she can choose to look at your map that you say, hey, this is what it's going to take for me to trust you again enough to build something new with you. And she can say, well, that makes me feel like you're trying to be my dad. Okay. Then she is choosing to leave. But you can't control how she feels.
So there's nothing in terms of agreements, and I guess I struggle to how does that? How do you set a boundary versus an agreement versus just okay, I can't live this way?
You're over intellectualizing it. You don't want to deal with it. Andrew, bro, you don't want to deal with this, and I get it. It's painful, but you got to deal with it. When you start trying to, like, what does this word mean? And what does this word mean? Dude, you're just trying to circle the wagon. You don't want to go right through the middle of it. I'm telling you, the only way through this is right through the middle of it. And the action for you is to sit down with a yellow pad and a pen and write out what must be true for her to regain your trust over time. And write down, here's what is true about how you begged me for 18 months to hear my emotional cries, and I ignored you for the next deal. I annoyed our kids because I was making money. And you're going to put that roadmap down in front of her. If after writing all that stuff down, you say, I want to continue this marriage, but I want you to get with a friend or get with a counselor and ask yourself, honestly, do you want to be married to her and rebuild a life with her? Or are you more ashamed and afraid of becoming yet another family statistic? Because if you're trying to duct tape over that shame and that holding your head out, holding your head down, you're trying to duct tape over that by, no, it's going to be fine. It's going to be cool. Man, you're going to be right back in the same boat. But if you say, no, I chose you and I love you, and I'm going to rebuild this thing. I'm going to treat you with integrity, and I'm going to be honest and clear as kind. I'm going to be very clear. That's the next masculine thing. Masculinity is not always packing up and running. In fact, it usually is standing your ground and walking straight through the middle of a mess. So that's the best I can offer you. If you're ruminating, man, that's usually your body trying to, as Brene Brown says, dress rehearse tragedy instead of just dealing with what's in front of you. My challenge for you is to stop parsing what's a boundary and what's it. Just take action. And it may be that for the last 2 years, she's been begging you, will you take action?